desperately needing wins in the Champions League. Our league form isn't too bad, and we're also going to go into the January transfer window. Could we possibly do something and bolster the squad? Well, we need to make sure we get ourselves into that playoff position. Are we going to get there? Well, tune in and find out. Hello and welcome back to Ajax Youth to Trophies. Episode 10, we've got to episode 10, and I must thank you so much for your support. The viewing figures have been really good. Thank you so much. But please, they always could be better, so please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Right, well, when we left you last, we were struggling in the Champions League. We were doing absolutely pathetically, worse than probably or maybe on par with the last time we were in the Champions League. League form wasn't too bad. We were second place. We were only a point behind the leaders. So things were going pretty well. Well, let's see where we've got up to so far. So if you remember where we left episode 9, we just played about 4 meaningless friendlies against very low opposition just to try and get the confidence back and the goal scoring back into the team. And it seems to have worked because we played Willem II and we smashed them at home 4-0. 30 shots and 15 on target. It could have been a lot worse for them. An XG of just 3.11. We scored 4. Buhari in the 4th minute. Esposito in the 9th. Mora in the 12th. And then Esposito in the 48th minute in the first half. So we did the demolition job in the first half. We made a few changes in the second half to rest some players. We didn't get any more goals, but we didn't concede any. So all good in the hood. However, sometimes you can always speak too soon. And we went on a 3-game losing streak. We played SC Heerenveen in the Eredivisie. We lost that one 1-0. Absolutely terrible. And then we had Real Madrid at home, where we always knew it was going to be tough. Trent took the lead for them. We equalised, thinking, great, we might have a chance of getting something out of the game. Up pops Mbappe and Rodrigo. 3-1, still without a win in the Champions League. This is not going according to plan. We thought we'd bounce back at home to FC Groningen. Yes, I rotated the team. Reserve goalkeeper, Diouf came in, Baumann. Yes, I was giving a lot of players a little bit of a rest and playing some fringe players. The only player to get a rating above 7 was Dastin Satpayev, and everybody else was absolutely pathetic. This is where I've had a wake-up call moment, and I've realised sometimes maybe just rotating the squad sometimes isn't good enough. We're definitely going to have to do a lot of work in January. 1, to retain our title, and 2, to try and win those final 2 qualifying games as well in the Champions League, to get ourselves into the playoff round. We need some money from the board. We need to sell on some players and create a little bit of revenue. We need to drop the wage bill down. And of course, coming in January, free agents as well. We need to make sure that we're not just going out there and getting loads of free agents that aren't going to get anywhere near the first team, but demand first team football. They've got to be the right free agents for the club. Somebody who's going to come in, contribute, or go happily into the reserves and the under-19s, develop and then sell on for a profit. Just when you think it's safe to go back into the water, the Champions League again. 3-2 defeat away from home. We took the lead in the first minute with the perfect start. 7 minutes later they equalised. They then went on to take the lead, and when Tielemans equalised to make it 2-2, we thought we had a chance of coming away with our first point of the campaign. No, Ribeiro popped up in the 89th minute to break our hearts again. I just don't know why we're so poor in the Champions League. The team isn't that bad. The squad isn't that bad. There's something going wrong somewhere. We played NAC Breda, fortunately for us, away from home. So we smashed them 6-1. Mora, Vieira, Buhari, Diaz, Fati and Dolberg, 6 different scorers, absolutely dominated that game. Young Jakub Kaminski, he came in from the reserves to come in as a right back to cover. We gave him a start and he got an 8.6, so great stuff for that. We then played a friendly there because we had a little gap between games with the international break. We beat our reserves 5-4. So it just goes to show we've got some good players in the reserves. We've got Azam Bouja there, 19-year-old, left attacking midfielder striker. He has got loads and loads of potential. So we will be looking at him with a view to bringing him through. The only problem is he plays on the left or he plays as a striker. And at the moment, we have too many players in those positions. So we might need to look at trimming the team down and making some changes. And just like that, we smash Pexval at home as well, 5-1. It's amazing how well we're doing in the Eredivisie, but not in the Champions League. Esposito with 3 goals, Mora with 1, Kaminski got himself a goal as well. They pulled one back on the 70th minute, but it didn't really matter. The game was won. We absolutely dominated. Just Manchester United in the Champions League next. I mean, surely this has got to go better than the previous ones. Surely. And it finally did go better, and for 2 reasons. The first reason was we won 1-0, and the second reason was we weren't playing Manchester United. We were playing Dynamo. We have Manchester United up next. I got my fixtures back to front. Zinchenko with the throw-in. Plays it, lovely ball into Fatty, back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko puts it in. Esposito with his head. Absolutely brilliant. Great goal. The linesman flagged. The referee checked VAR. And the referee decided that the goal was to be given. We finish off the month of November playing Fortuna Sittard away from home. Another convincing 3-1 win. Goals from Esposito with a brace and Diz Jans with a goal in the 28th minute. So that puts us now, let's have a look at the Eredivisie first. That puts us top. 14 played, won 9, drawn 2, we've lost 3, which is more than what we wanted to. And we are joint top at the moment with Go Ahead Eagles, who are surprisingly up there. Feyenoord in 3rd, Heerenveen in 4th, and PSV down in 5th. But as you can see, from AZ Alkmaar on 26 points in 6th place up to Ajax, who are top, there is 3 points difference. If somebody goes on a good run or a bad run, it can have severe consequences. We need to make sure we're the team that is going on a good run. When it comes to the Champions League, well, let's have a look at the Champions League and see how we're getting on there. I think we probably all know how we're getting on in the Champions League. So the way it works, for anybody who doesn't know, is the top 8 teams automatically qualify, and then 9th down to 24th, which is Dynamo, who we've just beaten at the moment. They will go into a playoff to then go into the knockout round. We sit a very, very lonely 33rd with just 3 points. It's not all doom and gloom. One win can change that. One win can put us in there in contention. What we need to do is we just need to do really well against the teams we should be beating, and the tough teams we need to grind out a point. We've got 3 games left. One of them will be played before the January break. The other 2 will be played in February, January, February time. So let's have a quick look and see exactly how we are getting on. Well, we asked the board for a new contract and they've duly obliged. We've signed a 5-year deal, so that's taken us up to the end of the 2032 season. So that's really good news that they've got faith in us. And we've also had a youth intake preview come through as well. It's a good intake. We should be optimistic about this group of young players. So what are we optimistic about? Well, we're optimistic about the attacking midfield. There's an attacking midfielder, just the one coming through. We should keep a very close eye on. We have 2 strikers who are considered fine prospects, although it actually says 3 there. And we've got a lot of wingers in the system, but they're rated at C. But this can all change because, as we know, in this game, what it tells you now the intake's going to be doesn't necessarily mean that's what the intake is going to be. So it could improve, it could get better. However, it could also get worse. So into the month of December we go, and we keep our Eredivisie good run going. A 3-0 win at home against Go Ahead Eagles. Clock with the Glock with the goal, Esposito assisting. Gotts came in and scored. He's getting a little bit more football because Fatty's out again injured. Mora with the assist. He is developing really well. And Fabio Vieira in the 93rd minute, who is also coming really, really good. He's coming on really well. Karabashvili's doing well. He's getting a few more games in the team. The problem we've got at the minute is Zinchenko is getting himself really annoyed that he's not playing. But to be fair, if I can find a good left-sided central defender, Bars would move over to that left. So him and Karabashvili would fight out that role. So then Zinchenko pretty much would be surplus to requirements. And he is 31, so potentially he's at the age where we need to sell him. He's going to be on the decline soon. But of course, that's for the January window, and we're not quite at the January window yet. So we got our second Champions League win in the competition this season. That's back-to-back wins. We beat Manchester United 2-0 at home. It was a tight game. We had plenty of shots, plenty on target. They only had one shot on target, but it didn't go straight forward. We waited until the 64th minute when Esposito gave us the lead, and then Kaminsky came in off the bench and he managed to get a second in the 80th minute. We held on, we saw it out. 6 points in the Champions League for us now. That changes things a little bit. So when we do have a look and see where we are in the league, so that puts us 27th now, within touching distance of that magic 24th position. We have 2 games to go. We are on 6 points. They're on 7 points. There's a couple of teams on 8. I would like to think 4 points would definitely qualify us for the Champions League. And when you have a look at some of these teams down here who are struggling, Juventus are already up below us. They haven't won a game yet. They've drawn 5 in a row and lost 1. Dynamo are still above us, but Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, Feyenoord, our rivals, are in 23rd. Napoli, Barcelona, Arsenal, there's some big teams here that could drop out. So what we need to do is make sure we are on our absolute A game, because we can't afford any slip-ups in the Champions League. There's only 2 games left. We need 4 points. The only problem we've got is we've got Inter Milan and AC Milan as the last 2 games. That's where the issue's going to be. Well, we next played Telstar in the Eredivisie. That was a nice straightforward 2-0 win. We took the lead in the 47th minute. Mansberg finishing the second goal in the 64th minute. Again, rotated the team quite a bit to give people a breather because everybody was tired after the Man United game. And then we had Heerenveen in the Dutch Cup second round, where we absolutely fully rotated the team. Players like Diouf came in, Ogbus came in to get a game, Glock, who hasn't really featured, Arthur, who you probably haven't seen, Sean Steer, he hasn't kicked the ball much for us, Solly March. So a lot of players there. Andre Ventura, who is our young prospect, who is 17-year-old and looks absolutely fantastic. We gave him a little run out as well. So yes, we didn't take it seriously. We haven't been taking it seriously apart from season 1. And then we had an away game against Excelsior, which we thought would be straightforward. Well, it wasn't straightforward at all, because when you have a look at it, they took the lead. Karabashvili got himself sent off, 2 yellow cards in the 84th minute. We went all out attack and Dahlberg managed to scramble in an equaliser to save a point. So in terms of league position in the Eredivisie, yes, we're doing really, really well. I didn't want to click on Heerenveen. I wanted to click on Eredivisie. We'll try that again. We are top. We are 2 points clear now, so there's a little bit of a gap. SC Heerenveen have slipped into second place. Feyenoord 3rd, AZ 4th, PSV 5th. There is now a 5-point gap between 1st and 6th, so there's a little bit more of a gap opening up. We are exactly halfway through the season. It is the 25th of December. It is Christmas Day. We are going into January now and into the window, and what we need to do is see where we need to strengthen in the window. Quick run through where we are. We could potentially, if we can get get an experienced goalkeeper, because these two are still young lads. Although they are holding their own, I don't think they're up to a higher standard of football just yet. They're maybe 1 or 2 seasons away from it. So there's a position we may strengthen if we get the opportunity to. In the defence, you'll see in the defensive side of things, on the right, we've got Zanotti. We've also got Anis Masilo, who is a central defender but can play on the right-hand side as well. Let me put these positions so they're a little bit more readable there. And what we'll do is we'll filter them by side. So that makes it a little bit easier. On the left-back position, we have Boss. He is 24. He's really, really good. We have Zinchenko there. We have Kantadoy, who we are going to get rid of. Karabashvili, who's 19, and he has been absolutely fantastic for us. He's developing well. He's got a lot more development left in him. And Diz Janza as well. So we've got plenty of players who can play that position. Zinchenko is going to leave the club. We have transfer listed him. We have offered him out. And we do also have a bid on him, I believe, of about 9.2 million from Mallorca. So he will be leaving us. I think that just makes sense. Gets him off the wage bill, and it also just gives us a little bit of transfer wiggle room in the window. In terms of central defence area, Ogbus, he's not going to do it. He's 22. He's not improving. He's on the decline. He's certainly not good enough. If he's not good enough at 22, he's not going to get there. We do have Bowman, who looks a really good player. He can step in there as cover for the central defence area. But what I would like to do is bring in a left-sided centre-back. So that is a position we're definitely looking at. On the right-hand side, well, Karabashvili can play there confidently. Diouf is learning how to play there. He's actually very good there now. His main role is central midfield, but I feel with that acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness, he can go up and down the pitch. Has to do a lot of work on his crossing though, and it's not developing at the moment. It's just a straight line. We have Zanotti there, who is our first choice and starter. So I think we're covered there. Ogbus is leaving us, so it might leave us a little bit thin. We might have to look at bringing in somebody from the reserves or bringing in a young player. In terms of midfield positions, well, I think we're a little bit blessed in the midfield. So we have in the midfield at the moment some really, really talented players. As I said, Diouf can play there. Karabash really can play there as well. Manswerk, Vieira, Tielemans, Arthur's going to leave us, we've listed him. Buadi, Glock can play in that midfield role if we need him to. Gungar, who will possibly be leaving the club because he won't sign a new deal. He was one of our first people through the youth development. Ozani, who looks a really good 18-year-old. Sean Stewart and Gonzalo Moria, who we have listed. He's 21. He's not getting any better. Yes, he looks good, but I don't think he's good enough to get into our midfield. I don't think he's going to improve enough to get into our midfield as well. And then when we have a look at the attacking midfielders, we'll have a look at all of them there. You can see we have a glut of attacking midfielders. Probably if we look at the best ones, you'll have the likes of Tielemans, you've got Mora, you've got Fatty when he's fit, Gotts, Bram Diaz, Esposito can play there. So we have quite a few players there that can play in those positions. And then finally, when we have a look at our striking department, well, Fatty can play as a striker, Esposito, Glock can play there as a false nine, Satpayev, Kasper Dolman, I have listed him. I think his time at the club is up. He's 30-year-old. Univar, who I think we're going to give till the end of the season and make a decision on him. And the likes of Sean Neve is listed because he just isn't really going to make the grade. We paid 525,000 for him. We're wanting 1.6 million. If we can get that, then that's a bargain. Where can we strengthen and who can we strengthen with? Well, I'm going to quickly look at a couple of players that we're looking to bring in. Some immediately and some at the end of the window on a free. Now, we've had to do a little bit of wheeling and dealing, but this guy, hopefully, and we'll find out next episode, will be coming and joining us in July, on the 1st of July. NICO PAZ, Football Manager Wonderkid, 20 dribbling, 20 first touch, passing and technique at 17 and 18s. Look at all of those greens. He is only 23-year-old, Argentinian international, 18 caps already. We are getting him on a free unless anybody puts another contract offer in better than ours. He should be joining us from Como. Yes, we've had to promise him a release clause. I think it's something like 120 million. That's fine. If we get him on a free and we make 120 million off him within 12 months, then that's a fantastic piece of business. So there's somebody we're looking at. We have a few more irons in the fire, which I will show you next episode as well. In terms of youth players, young players that we're looking at, I've got 375 shortlisted players between the age of 15 and 21. And I've narrowed that down because normally I would go up to about 24, but there's just too many players to show you. Some of the best though, Kenneth Icorn, he's on my radar there. He's 18-year-old. He could potentially come in and do a job between 29 and 35 million pounds. So I'm looking at him, although midfield is probably one of our strongest areas. Mastuano as well, we all know about him, 20-year-old. I think because we're going to get Paz, or hopefully going to get Paz, then that might be a deal we won't look to get done, especially when you look at him and you see that they want between 96 and 117 million. Jeremy Monga, he is definitely a wonder kid on the game. He is 18-year-old now, left-sided though. We do have a glut of left-sided players there, so the deal would have to be right. 61 to 72 million, the deal will not be right at the moment, unless we lost somebody like Ansu Fati, in which case we probably would bring him in as the ideal replacement. One player I am looking at the moment is James Copo. He is a right wing back. He looks really, really good. He's 19-year-old. He's Argentinian. He needs to do a little bit of work on his first touch and his passing and his marking, but he's valued between 1.1 and 8.6 million. And we would just go in there and just, as a little idea, see if he's interested in coming in. Yes, he's interested. Either 3.5 to 4.5 per week, which is really good. We're happy with that. It's just what the fee would be. So if we have a look at the fee, we will offer £1 million all up front, and they've asked for 4.3 with add-ons and percentage of next sale. I don't think that we could probably do anywhere near what they're asking for. If we went 1.5, suggest terms, we're miles away. We're absolutely miles away. Yes, I can stick a few installments on there. Maybe a little bit of a clause if he plays 50 games, we'll give them a couple of £1 million. And then if he doesn't, we haven't paid anything out there extra. But I think for what he is, I don't think he's going to be good enough to get into our team anytime soon. And it's quite a big outlay. So quite a few players there to look through at the moment. Some of the valuations are really high. Obviously, I'm going to skip through those players. Japanese player there, 18-year-old. Miwa, he looks really, really good. Right-footed. But I would imagine he's going to be somebody that we might be able to bring in. 3.8 million. We will have a look at him, and we certainly will have a look at our transfer budget and what we have to play with, because we have been given a little bit of money by the board, but it's not massive. So at the moment we're working with 3.53 million, and in the wage budget we have about 200,000 to play with. So should we plough all of the wage budget back into the transfer, we've got 13.8, but of course we've got to pay their wages. So I would imagine we need to look at somewhere like that. So really about £6 million. Anyway, that's the end of the video. My name's Andy FM Forever. If you have enjoyed this video, please click the like button, smash that subscribe button, and if the hype button comes up, please, I'd really, really appreciate it if you hit the hype button. Most important as well though, please do leave your comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm signing out. Bye bye.